everybody. Today we're going to show you how you can set up a simple Flair Smart Vent system. So I've got a Flair Bridge, a Flair Puck, a Flair 8x10. This is a ceiling style smart vent, and the Flair app. So if we kind of take a look at the Flair app first, I've already actually created an account and logged in. Yeah, pretty straightforward, everything you'd kind of expect. And then you'll see this create a home. So go ahead and press that. Just a welcome screen. You'll want to name your home. Pretty simple. So this can just be, demo home. Right, I'm going to leave it in Fahrenheit, although we support Celsius, of course. In order to find my location, right, I'm just going to allow the GPS to do that, make it nice and easy. In this case, I'm going to make this home my default. So if you had multiple homes set up on your Flair app, you can have one that's sort of there when you open the app, or others that you get to, post app opening the app. So we set up the home, pretty straightforward. Now the next step is to set up the system. So obviously we make some mini split controls, but in this case we're setting up the Flair Smart Vent. So we'll go ahead and start there. Okay, so the first thing you do in a Flair system is you set up the bridge, or in some cases a puck, as a quote-unquote gateway, although we're really moving towards the bridge. You can set up the bridge via Ethernet. In fact, here you can see there's an Ethernet port on the back, but in this demonstration we're going to use Wi-Fi. So go ahead and set start. We'll add a bridge. It'll say plug it in. I've obviously already plugged it in. And then you'll wait for a pulsing blue light. So you can kind of see that pulsing blue light already. And then I'm going to say, hey, I'm using Wi-Fi. So it'll ask for a code on the back of the unit. So in my case, I'm just going to leave it off camera. But I'll type that in. Okay, and then hit next, and then it's going to ask me to join this Wi-Fi network. So it'll do it. Let me straighten this out so you can see. It'll join that Wi-Fi. So this is my phone joining a network hosted by the bridge. It'll ask me what network do I want to connect this bridge to. I'll put in my network. Let me type that in, the password for that. Okay, and so I punch that in. We'll give the bridge a minute to try and join the Wi-Fi network. So once it has joined, we're going to wait and see. We're hoping to see a pulsing orange light. So there you go. You see this pulsing orange light. That means it's ready to rock and roll. So we'll hit bridge is pulsing orange, and the bridge is all set up. It's connected, associated with the home. So now it's time to add our devices. So you add your Flair Smart Vents as well as pucks if you've got them. So we're going to go ahead and power on the pucks. Now this animation shows adding batteries, but actually the latest some of these ship with a pull tab, so it's actually real straightforward. Just pull that and it will boot up. Put this mount back on it, so you'll see that there starts to show the temperature in the room. And it'll say the same thing for the vents. So the vents also have the vents also have a pull tab. You see that kick right on. Great. So now we'll hit next, and there you go. It's So it's showing me a couple of the devices that it's already found. I'm going to give it another minute to find additional ones. And then what you'll actually see happen, so it discovered them, and then momentarily what you'll see is that the vents themselves will start to display a pattern on the light bar that identifies the vent. And the puck will also display a code, right? So there's the puck code, F123. So I can go ahead and click that and say I'm going to put this in my, I'll say this one's going to go in my bedroom, right? And assign it to the bedroom. Great. Now, looks like you can see here I've got this single light on, not all the way to the right, but almost to the right. And that's what you see here on the vent. So I'm going to go ahead and assign that to the bedroom like that. And then it actually discovered another smart vent that I've got. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this to a new room, and I'm going to say this one's in the den. So this one's not on camera, but I've got it nearby. So assign that to the den. Great. Now you can see they're all assigned. We hit done. So now we're going to add a smart thermostat. So you don't have to have a smart thermostat with the Flair system, but it does make it a lot more powerful, right? And the power comes in that the vents can redirect air, and the integration can take and summarize all the data regarding, sensor data and things we're learning at the vent or at the pucks, and really ask the thermostat to run the equipment more or less. So having those work in conjunction is powerful. But if you had a conventional non-smart thermostat and you just wanted to open and close vents from your phone, obviously you could do that. But we get really excited about some of the powerful integrations that we've got. So go ahead and connect that. And let me go ahead and punch in my account info for my Nest here. Okay. Two-step. And it's ready to rock and roll. So we've got this Google Nest permissions. So I just give it all the permissions. I hit next. We'll reconfirm the account. And this is all sort of within the Google authentication flow, embedded inside of the Flair app as you set it up. And then you just tap this on. Now, this is a thermostat I've used with other systems as we've either tested or done some demonstrations. So it was not enabled by default, but I believe it will be enabled by default. If it's not, make sure you make that, click that over to the right and make sure it's orange. Hit next. Now, what kind of system is this? It seems pretty obvious if you've got a smart vent that it's forced air, but in some cases, when we integrate thermostats, they're controlling other things. And how many vents are in your thermostat zone? So this is a really important one. So when you've got a thermostat heating or cooling a space, what we want to know is really the total number of vents, right? So in this case, I hooked up 2 Flair Smart Vents, but you might also have, let's say you've got 6 non-smart vents as well, right? For a total of 8. So that's a really important value to add. And obviously, if you have multiple thermostats and sort of multiple zones with inline dampers or something like that, you'll set up multiple thermostats and answer that for each one. And then what room is this? Now, this thermostat's called family room. I'm just going to put it in the den. It's a little confusing, but just roll with it. Assign it to the den. And then it's going to ask what rooms are in the thermostat zone. So we're only setting up a single zone system here. So both the den obviously is in its zone, and we're going to say the bedroom is in its zone as well. And then what do you want Flair to control? I want Flair to control the thermostat and the smart vents. You could set it up so that it doesn't touch the thermostat and it only operates the vents. But I think it's much more powerful this way. So that's the thermostat integration. There's a couple tips. So in this case, we kind of teach you how, when you set up multiple rooms, you can set one room as inactive. And what that does is it helps us prioritize other rooms. You can also schedule rooms as inactive. And actually what's quite cool is if you have an Ecobee or a Honeywell that has motion sensors, you can even drive the active or inactive status of a room off of the motion sensors. So quite powerful. And then, I mentioned schedules. So this kind of goes into how you can set schedules. It demonstrates how you set active or inactive. And it's pretty powerful. You can schedule every room, 7 days a week, 24/7, however you'd like. So pretty neat. And if there's times that aren't scheduled, there's also some reasonable behavior that happens in those unscheduled times. So pretty cool. So, if you've got any questions, our support team is awesome. Give them a shout. And otherwise, we hope you'll take a look, and we hope we can help you make your home more comfortable and energy efficient. Thanks.